Hey guys, how's it going? Just wanted to have a little chat with you guys. So grab a drink, sit around the fire, and enjoy listening to me yap on for however long this video ends up being. Hopefully not too long, but you never know, I'm the king of rambling sometimes, and not getting to the point as quickly as I probably could. But hey, I mean, that's why you guys enjoy me, right? Right? It's at least fun, right, guys? Anyway, I bet you're probably looking at the title or the thumbnail. I haven't really decided what direction I want to make it, but yeah, don't worry, nothing is going to happen. Well, I guess you could say this all started with me going into a little place called Reddit, and I occasionally browse the various subreddits they have there, mainly Falcom, Yakuza, occasionally the JRPG subreddit, and some various YouTube subreddits. Recently, I found myself journeying into the Let's Play subreddit, and every now and then I would give people feedback and ask for feedback in return, because at this point in time, because of just how long it takes me to make these Let's Play videos sometimes with the way I do things, and oftentimes I don't really get a ton of comments directly pointing out those things, so I can't really get a pulse on if what I'm doing is enjoyed or not, as far as from outside of this little ecosystem here with you guys being my main supporters. This is going to be a members first video, by the way, and then I'll probably have it unlisted. I don't know if I will actually make this video public or not. It's kind of just one of those things where I might just have it just linger here forever and just unlist it later and have the link for anybody that wants to check it out. But anyway, so I ask for feedback sometimes in those places because, well, it's where other Let's Play creators are. Now, to be fair, a lot of those channels are not as big as mine, and that's not a humble brag or anything. It's just a lot of the people there are very what you would consider low effort channels, where they just record themselves playing the game. Maybe they cut up the video a little bit, maybe cut out some of the boring parts, and that's really it. And that style of content, especially nowadays, with just how many legacy channels there are that are around, is very difficult to break out into. As I am saying myself, I mean, I can't really say anything too definitive because, let's be honest, the 3 games that I've so far have played and are playing are very niche. So the potential audience is probably long gone, at least as far as from the East series goes. The people that are going to be watching those videos are going to be the super hardcore fans. And then even then, my style of Let's Play might push a lot of people away. You know, they might see the skits and the random ad-libs and stuff, and it's like, well, why aren't you just playing the game? Just play the game normally. I don't want to see this stuff. But because it takes me so long to make these videos, not just in regards to the editing, but just a lot of the times when recording too, there are just often times where I just don't get an opportunity for one reason or another. That's why I have a lot more shorter videos in comparison to the longer videos, because the shorter videos are a lot easier to record and cut out any long gaps in silence or points where I have to mute the microphone and go do something else. So as such, there is a lot of time where I get to just stare at an episode as it's out for, you know, a day, 2 days, a week, sometimes 2 weeks. And as far as the life on the video, it kind of doesn't really go anywhere a lot of the times compared to my other videos, if we're just strictly speaking from a view standpoint, which I know is not the end-all be-all to a successful video in the first place. There are plenty of videos that I have personally that are successful, very successful in terms of views, but then you dig a little deeper and you look at the analytics, you look at how long people watched the video for, you look at how many of them clicked off during the first 30 seconds. Some videos are like, wow, even though it got a lot of views, hardly anyone actually stuck around. So it's like it's sometimes even more demoralizing than just seeing a video underperform in the first place. Because I will say, on a positive note, most of the people who click on the Let's Play videos do tend to stick around for a decent amount of time. most videos people end up sticking around for about like 10 minutes, I would say. And yeah, on videos that are an hour long, that might not be that much. That's like what, 20 percentages. Cyrus, quick, do your quick maths. I'm trying. The quick maths aren't quicking. They're not quick enough. So let's see, what would 10 minutes be out of 60? Because okay, it's more than 10%, but it's less than 20%, because 10% of 60 would be 6, and if you double that, it would be 12. So yeah, it would be just shy of 20%, which is not great. That's actually kind of my average as far as like channel-wide retention goes. So again, it's definitely something that I need to try and figure out how I can improve that. Is it the quality of the voiceover? Do I maybe need a better microphone? Do I maybe need to do more editing? Less editing? They do say sometimes less is more, and I do kind of get in my own way a bit, probably, with some of the editing, especially with the skits. I like to go above and beyond sometimes, or I like to just act on these random ideas that I have. Okay, I'm getting off track. Loop back to the original point of this video. Okay, so essentially, yes, I was asking for feedback, and something somebody said just kind of stuck with me, and I sat on it for like a couple days, and I was just like, I've been really sitting on all of the advice that was given there, which was surprisingly a lot more people than I thought. It was like maybe 10 people, maybe even more. Yeah, like 10 people gave advice. Some people even wrote like full-on paragraphs. It was a lot to just kind of read through and consider, and ultimately the general consensus was just do what you want. Do what you enjoy first, and everything else should fall into place later. And I was really thinking about that, and the one comment that stuck out was essentially telling me that if I was not able to record 4 hours a day and upload 1 to 2 videos a day, that maybe Let's Plays aren't for me. And one, I just think that's funny, because who in their right mind, unless you are a full-time channel, even if you are full-time, who has that kind of time? Unless you are just recording and throwing the raw files up into the YouTube stratosphere. Like, what successful channel does that? I can't personally think of any. Like, even the channels that I watch, who are Let's Play channels that do minimal editing, they at least have something that they do. Because, like, yeah, Twit Gamer, for example, he does sometimes 2, 3. I have seen him occasionally in the past do 4 videos a day. But again, this is his full-time thing, and he's in a position where he can do this with complete and total freedom, right? And that's also the thing, is everybody has a different kind of life, you know? Just because somebody might not be able to do that, in my opinion, doesn't mean that they should still not be able to, if it's something that they truly want to pursue. And that's the original point that I was trying to get to earlier. I was getting ahead of myself. Despite all my personal doubts and grievances and desires and all these different ideas and things that I have, like, you guys have no idea. I am constantly thinking of this stuff. I definitely put in the time to be full-time as far as a YouTube channel goes, that's for sure. But it's one of those things where it's my choice. This is a hobby for a lot of people, and a lot of people treat it like a hobby. And would I like to personally grow and turn this into a full-time thing? Honestly, probably not, because I don't think I'd be able to maintain that level of, I don't want to say quality, but just like that level of effort that goes into maintaining a full-time YouTube channel. But I think it would be nice, though, to at least get to a point where it can be a relatively consistent thing while I also work my other jobs and my other responsibilities that I have to deal with. But I really was thinking, I was like, is all this effort that I'm putting into these Let's Plays even worth it in the first place? As far as viewership goes, and growth-wise, probably no. Just because, I mean, with these last couple of times it's taken, you know, there's been weeks between episodes, and that's honestly unacceptable in terms of the Let's Play sphere, unless you are sticking to a very specific niche that always gets views. Like, for example, I know Weapons can sometimes, he's very busy, so sometimes he can go like a week or even 2 weeks, like me, between episodes, but That's the thing, is he has a very dedicated audience at this point. And Trails games are just very niche in general, but they're very passionate, and the way that he makes his videos is just very fun and entertaining. And it's definitely something that I use as a source of inspiration for myself, as far as what I strive to be like. And the other channels that I use for inspiration, mostly Nico. You guys probably watch him, Nico B, as he's playing through the Sky games now. But his type of editing is a lot simpler than mine. His ad-libs are very brief, very short little outbursts with the characters, and then his editor Sai goes in and moves the characters around or adds various effects and stuff. And it's like Nico is in a position where he can do that stuff, and he's also had, 10 plus years to build upon his skills and just his ability to speak fluently. Like, that's something that I also struggle with a lot. You guys probably don't really tell, but I spend hours, almost every single video, simply cutting up the audio. And in terms of reaction videos and stuff, like, it's a lot easier because I'm adding 100% of the footage in by hand. But with something like a Let's Play, sometimes, like, I'll just have these massive brain farts for just no reason. And it's like trying to cut those up, trying to find those and cut them up and find a place that, I can transition to the next scene and not make it look jarring or anything. It's kind of time consuming sometimes, and it's also just real plain annoying to deal with. If I ever had an editor, they would be like, bro, you need to take some speaking classes or something, seriously. I think it's also a consequence of when I was in school, I would do everything possible to avoid any kind of public speaking assignment. I mean, heck, there was one time even in college where, in our English class, there's another thing, mispronouncing words all the time, and stuttering, that's also a big one. But we were supposed to basically present our paper, our big thesis paper for the end of the year, and one of the stipulations to get full credit was you had to present it in front of the class and do sort of like a mock debate style thing. And I was like, oh heck no, I'm not doing that. So I stayed silent in my chair the whole time, and at the end of the class I turned in my assignment. I never spoke in front of it, and then I didn't really know what was going to happen, and then I looked later and it was like, oh, you passed. And I was like, oh, cool. I guess I did my job of blending in. I was a ninja. But yeah, speaking is something that, funnily enough, despite having to speak all the time for videos and just other things in general, is just something I have not really liked doing. It has always been something that I have avoided, and it's probably something I should have pushed harder in, because it probably would have given me the confidence that I need and just the skill set in general to be able to just go on for long sessions at a time and not run out of things to say, or have all kinds of awkward pauses and silence between sayings and words and stuff. But ultimately, one of my secret goals when I started Let's Plays was sharpening those skills in a sense. In certain cases, I think I have gotten a little better, at least in terms of maybe my reaction time when it comes to pointing out things or grabbing certain instances, scenarios that happen, and using them for comedic effect or trying to use them to set up a joke or whatever. Because at the end of the day, ad-libbing is a skill like a lot of other things, and it's something that the more you use it, the more better it becomes, and the less you use it, the quicker you lose it. It's not really like riding a bike. Holy crap, this is almost 20 minutes as far as me rambling. Well, this is more of a chill kind of thing anyway. More of just a personal heart-to-heart chat with you guys just listening. So I hope you guys don't mind. If you made it this far, you probably don't mind. Yeah, back to the original point. I was giving it some thought, like, is this whole thing really for me? And honestly, it's probably not. I'm probably far too ambitious and far too unnecessarily creative, because there are probably things that I could have not done and that would have achieved the same results. But I do kind of push myself a lot to try and insert as many unique things as possible. into the various Let's Plays because I want them to be unique. I don't want them to be just generic and comparable to the other hundreds of channels that are out there just, you know, doing the same thing of just recording themselves and straight up uploading it. And I don't know, it's also maybe that's what my potential audience would want. Maybe they just want to just chill and watch me play a game and me to have just random conversations and not have all the fancy stuff. And I don't know, this whole thing is a journey, you know, a journey to learn. And I have definitely learned a lot since starting, that's for sure. But there have been times where I have legitimately considered just dropping Let's Plays in general, simply due to me not being able to keep up with my own personal schedule, in a sense, where I have it on my brain where it's like, oh, this type of video needs to come out every, you know, 1 to 2 days. Oh, well, here I am spending, you know, 3, 4, 5 days on one. So it is probably, in a sense, a lot of the problems are a me thing and a mindset issue, and me unnecessarily comparing myself to other people, especially people who are doing something completely different, like what I'm doing as far as Ys is concerned. I wouldn't even necessarily consider those Let's Plays. I would almost consider those, in a sense, like mini abridged series. And I have thought of just casually playing through the games, and then once I play through the games, going back and crafting an abridged story using all the footage. But it's like a lot of the fun for me comes from just all the random things that I think of on the spot. So I think having the scripted stuff for one thing, and then having to intentionally not say things and save them for later would just kind of get in the way of the story and the experience overall. And also because I am making the videos in a way where I can just, once they're done, I just go through and cut out the various relevant scenes and turn it into a little mini abridged series as it goes. But who knows, but maybe by the time I get to Ys Origins or whatever one is next on the list, maybe I'll just, I don't know, take things a little easier and just see how it goes. Or maybe I'll have Raynaudis just be the easier series, or maybe I'll push through those two series, and then whatever game I decide to play after Raynaudis will be the more casual series. Or I could just have a subsection of games where they are just more casual types of playthroughs. Like, I am a very big fan of survival games, but I'm not sure how well survival games would necessarily do on this kind of a channel. So I guess the moral of the story is I've thought about quitting. I definitely have. Thought about throwing in the towel, but I do really enjoy getting to create all the random skits and stuff and feel like I'm making something truly unique out there, despite the lack of interest or how poorly the videos might do. So I guess all this 20 plus minutes of rambling was just me saying that it's something that I want to continue doing for sure. It isn't something that I want to give up on just yet, because I personally do derive a lot of enjoyment, especially from the skits and just the random adventures that I have Adel and his friends go on. And I've already planned out like maybe 4 other skits for the rest of the Ys 2 playthrough, and it's just kind of, I need to get to that point first in order to make them, which is a recurring problem I keep running into. Like, yeah, do I want this channel to be successful? Of course I do. Of course everybody wants their channel to be successful. If anybody says no, they're lying. But it's like, do I expect to ever become like a huge famous Let's Play YouTuber? No, I don't. One, I would need to play a lot more popular games, a lot more current games. I know Raynaudis is a current game, but well, popular. You know, games that there's actually an active audience seeking out that kind of content. And I definitely think when I start up Daybreak 2 again, there will be a little bit of hype around it that'll help those videos initially starting out. I still don't know if am I just gonna start over, completely over from that series, or am I gonna play and then continue from where I left off? I don't know. But yeah, I have a lot more ideas on things in regards to just everything for the channel going forward. and I hope to be able to see a lot of those through to fruition. And I hope you guys continue to enjoy everything that you're interested in here on the channel, because I really do value your guys' time, which is why I try to make these as interesting as possible. So thank you guys so much for all the support you've shown me throughout this entire journey of mine, and I'm very excited to see what comes next. So this is Cyrus, officially signing off. I'll catch you guys in whatever the next video ends up being. Peace out.